said, this is, one of many that we're going to do. It's called the Thursday Tweet Up. Our Twitter friends are watching on DryerBuzz.com. Our readers are watching, our viewers are watching. And this is a chance for them to kind of see the opportunity that I have, and I brag about all the time, of enjoying the culture of this city. And one of the reasons we moved DryerBuzz.com to AM is because, syndication radio is taking over our airways here. Something DryerBuzz predicted a couple of years ago. So now it just happened. We just recently lost another morning show. So now we have another syndicated show that comes out of Texas, which means, we don't get to hear a lot about our city in the mornings.
Right.
So we're doing that. And of course, all these wonderful things that go on that I get to experience and I come back and I blog about, I want people to know ahead of time. And I think Monica, you were saying, you sit down, I want to share something with Monica as well. One of the things she was telling me is that a lot of times we hear about stuff in Atlanta, we hear it the day of, a couple of days before, and we don't get a chance to, so I want to make sure that people know that True Colors Theater season is kicking off. Not just True Colors, I mean the Atlanta arts community, period. I love the fall. I stay in the house in the summer, okay? But I'm there, I'm there in the fall when I can, put on my nice fall colors and go out and really enjoy myself. And the good thing about it is it kicks off theater. One of the things I was telling Kenny, I fell in love with theater. I can't remember the exact date. Even though I'm celebrating a birthday, I won't go back that far, but it was when cable hit Atlanta, when this cable thing first came out. And I was sitting there, I was looking through the channels, you had your MTV and all this kind of stuff. And then this thing called HBO. And my kids, think HBO's been around like forever. And I flip the channel, watch the HBO, and I see this thing. What is it? I don't know. It's people on the stage, I don't see any microphones, but I'm loving this. Thank you for coming. Welcome. We're going to introduction in just a second. Just find your seat.
Okay.
If you want to grab something to drink or grab some lunch, casual, we're just talking.
Okay.
And it was Sherman Hemsley and Melvin Moore on the stage. And I saw Melvin Moore walk out there and say that her name was Ludabelle Gustamay Jenkins. I went to school that whole year, everybody called me Ludabelle Gustamay Jenkins. I knew the whole play, okay? And my mother was like, okay, I'm tired of this. Let me take this girl to the theater, Because, I literally had I took on the accent, I took on everything. I loved, and this was at the time of the birth of hip-hop. Okay, so I was the rapping Ludabelle Gustamay Jenkins. That's kind of cool name. You don't understand what Mel Moore did on that stage with that. And the show was called Pearl. Okay, see everything. Okay,
yes.
I love that. And so I love that. But see, it's good to date yourself when you have history and when you can revisit that history today. That you can go somewhere and see that play that we saw and we loved. And you can see productions like they're getting ready to do with Swimming Upstream, which is going to be just awesome. Not only that, Miss Everett's Boys, you guys are doing the Black Nativity, and what's another production?
Wedding Band.
Wedding Band.
Ivory Joe Cole.
An Ivory Joe. So that in and of itself makes for your year, because theater is going to run from, we're going to start at November 5th, and the end of it will go
August
to the spring. August the 3rd. What are you doing? Don't miss this. And not only that, and what I love about True Colors is they go from different theaters, so it's a different experience. One time you're at the 14th Street Playhouse and they go to some others. He's anticipating. He's like, she's gonna hit me with this question. I'm coming. But I have a ton of questions for you too, because like I said, to write, when you write, we'll get to some technical stuff. When you're writing a play, and you're taking the adaptation, and the book has been out there, or such as the play as Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Now, we're in a new millennium,
right,
but yet that's still a very prevalent story. Are you having to kind of adjust it, update it, change some things, or is it still going to be the historical piece that it is, or how do you know, how do you make sure that people will relate to this as an issue? This was a story, and it's still a love story,
Yeah, no, it's a great question. When Kenny first approached me about the project, I was like, I don't know, and I had, like most people, I saw the film, but I couldn't remember when I saw it. I mean, it's a seminal, iconic American film.
Right.
So I went back and I looked at it, and it's a great film of a time and of a place, but the first question I asked myself was, why do it today? Why revisit it? And I think that, as I'm discovering, my primary focus as a writer is, I think when I was younger in my 20s, I had this idea that, as one of my characters in another play says, I come from nowhere, make a left past the Applebee's. I came from this place without history, that was my sort of sensibility, and it was always outside. It was, it's the British that they have the theater, or it's Ibsen, or whoever my hero of the time was. And now as I've come to discover, I've been writing about home, I realized, I'm writing American stories, and that it's an exploration of what it means to be American. And so I began to look at Guess Who's Coming to Dinner as an American fable. It's a story that it can only happen in America, and the kind of problems of what the relationship is an American story.
Right.
So I started from that point, and early on I said, if we tell this and we update it to 2007, 2008, because I wrote it last year, I said, it's a different story. It's going to play out in a different way. It's a different culture. It's a different time. So it must be set in 1967. However, the point of view of the film is very much about the shock of this couple being together. Okay? Which doesn't play today. Which is, it's a different story.
You think about the election, right?
Absolutely. But underneath it, everything is still very much alive. Everything is, it emerges in America in different ways. So I said, what really fascinates me about the story is this seemingly liberal, open-minded couple who are, good white liberals, until it walks into their living room. And it's like, oh my God, and this is something I did not prepare. It's like, you can be my doctor, you can be my neighbor, but you cannot marry my daughter. And it's very much alive today. That's very much alive. So the first thing I did was I changed the point of view of the story. So first of all, going from film to, to a stage play, it's no different than taking, again, I've gone back to this, I'm looking at the myth of the story, or what the basic tendrils of it are, but going to a different medium. Theater is entirely different than stage. In fact, I've been working on some film stuff, so I've had to wrestle. I'm going the other way. So it's a different way to tell stories. It's actually, theater is more akin to radio drama. I'm a big fan of listening to Orson Welles, Campbell, Playhouse radio shows, and the way that what they can do in radio that they can do in film is jump locations quickly. But the way they have to set tone and set up exposition is all through dialogue, which is the way you have to do it on stage. And you also have, it's a more poetic environment, it's a more focused environment, so the language is heightened. So it's been, the play is based on the film, and there are iconic moments I preserved from the film. So people will go say, I love the moment when he comes in and he sees that. Yes, I had to keep that. That's similar to the story. But the play starts out on a Tuesday afternoon in the Draken's house, and you meet the couple, and you meet them during, they're preparing to have this conservative, wealthy conservative guy come over and look at artwork that the mother has a gallery, but I put, the gallery she runs out of her home. So the visitors, the guys come in the house, so they're preparing for the arrival of somebody unlike them. But they're surprised to find out. Yeah, totally. So I call it a shifting of the point of view of the story. So now it's about this couple, and it's about their hypocrisy, and it's about all of our.
And so that's the thing I'm always amazed of, because especially if it's been a movie, and that was the thing I loved about when you guys did. Raising in the Sun, when you went from a movie to the stage, and then from the stage to a movie.
No, it went from the stage. It was originally a play.
It was originally a play.
Yeah, it was originally a play.
To a movie. And my generation, we think everything's on TV.